Hey y'all, it is Super Bowl Sunday and I'm not a huge fan of either of the teams that are playing today. I do know one thing for sure, I'm tired of Kansas City winning. Yep, I said what I said. Now in my household, it is tradition to cook food based off of where the Super Bowl is held. This year it is in New Orleans and we are having a Cajun themed soul food Sunday. Take a look at everything that I'm cooking today. Now, since I'm from Louisiana, I know a little something about Cajun food, so let me get in this kitchen and get to cooking. Let's start with dessert first. Whenever I'm cooking, I always have a plan of action where multitasking is involved. That is why I'm starting with dessert first. Now for this box cake recipe, I'm loosely following the instructions on the back of the cake mix box. To level up a box cake mix, I use 4 room temperature eggs and I replace oil with butter and then I double the amount required. For example, if the recipe calls for a half cup of oil, I'm going to do a whole cup of butter. I also substitute water for room temperature milk, and that, family, is how you create a very moist and delicious cake. Now, how I multitask is once I get the cake in the oven, I'll go ahead and prep my veggies, measure the seasonings, wash the meat, whatever I can do to move on to the next thing that I'm cooking, I'll do it while the cake is baking. For the glaze, I use powdered sugar, milk, and vanilla extract. If you want a thick glaze, pour less milk. If you want a thinner glaze, use more. I wanted mine to be a little on the thick side, and what I do is I pour a little bit of milk at a time into the powdered sugar and stir, repeating this process until I get my desired thickness. And now that I think about it, I probably should have done a cream cheese frosting versus this glaze. Next up is banana pudding. I'm loosely following my dad's banana pudding recipe. I'm adding vanilla extract to mine. I don't remember him adding that to his, so that's the main difference between our recipes. I'm using a can of sweet milk and adding water and giving it a good stir. I do have a recipe for this, so I will link that down in the description box if you are interested in making the banana pudding. There are so many different banana pudding recipes out there, y'all. I found this one to be my favorite because it is quick, simple, and easy to throw together. So now I'm going to put this in the fridge for 5 minutes. While it was sitting in the fridge, I went ahead and chopped my bananas. I forgot to mention that I had my carton of whipped cream thawing out in the fridge so that it would be easy to mix into the pudding. You know, I always wondered why you fold whipped cream into pudding instead of using a mixer, and I found out that it results in a lighter, fluffier texture, while mixing would deflate the whipped cream, making it more dense. Y'all, I remember my parents going back and forth about how to layer a banana pudding. My dad insisted that you had to put the pudding on the bottom and then layer from there, while my mom was on the side of layering first and then adding the pudding. It's going to get eaten either way, so to me there's no right or wrong way to do it. I started with the pudding first, then the cookie, topped with a banana, and then another cookie. Once I covered the banana with the cookie, I added more pudding, and then I repeated the process until I got all the way to the rim of the bowl. Now for decoration purposes, I usually crush the remaining cookies in the food processor and sprinkle them on top, but since I'm using a bowl with a lid, I didn't do it this time because I wanted to use all of the pudding up. So I forced the pudding all the way down to the bottom in order to make it all fit, but I still had a lot at the rim of the bowl. Once I put the lid on, pudding was going to get stuck on the top of it, so that's why I didn't add the cookies. They would have gotten stuck to the top of the lid, which is what ended up happening to the pudding anyway. Green beans are pretty easy to cook, especially coming from a can. I always use some type of meat, and today I'm using a ham shank. I didn't have enough chicken stock, so I'm adding chicken bouillon to give it a little flavor. I always use some type of stock or bouillon to level up my dishes. I'm going to give it a good stir and then let it simmer for an hour or until the meat falls off the bone. Once the meat falls off the bone, I'm going to take it out of the pot and then chop it up and then return it back to the pot with the green beans. I did drain the beans before adding them to the juice that I cooked the ham shank in. I didn't show this part, but I did add 1 packet of onion soup mix to the ham shank so that it can give it more flavor. And I'm just going to let this cook for another 10 minutes or so. I also added salt, pepper, and red pepper flakes to taste. The Red Lobster cheddar biscuits were pretty easy to make. I just followed the instructions on the back of the box. Yeah, my husband loves these biscuits. I remember when he first introduced me to them, I was all excited because he hyped them up so much. But to me, they were just okay. I wasn't too crazy about them. But I cooked them for him, and it also pairs well with the jambalaya. You can also do garlic bread, garlic knots, garlic toast. Either of those would go well with jambalaya. I could have made them a little bigger, but since we had company, I opted to go smaller to make more. That way, if anyone wanted seconds, they could have them. So now I'm just using the butter herb mix and sprinkling the butter all over the cheddar biscuits. What we've all been waiting for, jambalaya. I'm going to start by seasoning my shrimp with Cajun seasoning. I use Slap Your Mama. I also have the Tony's, but you can use whatever seasoning you like. I'm lightly coating the shrimp and giving it a good mix to make sure each one has a little season on it. Cajun season tends to be a little bit on the salty side, so you may want to go easy. While I was seasoning my shrimp, I had my olive oil heating up on the stove, and so now I'm just cooking my shrimp in the olive oil. I'm not cooking it all the way because y'all know shrimp tends to cook really fast, and you don't want to do that when you're making jambalaya. Now I'm just adding my chopped sausage to new olive oil. I didn't want to use the olive oil that I cooked the shrimp in because I didn't want my meat to have that shrimp flavor, even though it's going to all be mixed together eventually. I just cleaned the pot, got some new oil, and I cooked my sausage in that. Now I'm just adding my bell pepper and onion to the same oil that I cooked the sausage in, just to give it that added flavor. So now I'm just giving it a good mix, and I used my handheld chopper to chop it up. That's why they look perfectly cubed. So yeah, I'm just giving it a good stir. I don't like crunchy jambalaya, so that's why I'm going to cook these vegetables down until they are soft. Now I'm going to add some garlic. I added garlic last because I do not want my garlic to burn, because I would have to start all of these vegetables over, and I don't have any more bell peppers, so I couldn't do that. Once I get my vegetables cooked down to the way I want it, I added the sausage and chicken back to the pot. Notice I didn't add the shrimp, and the reason why I didn't add the shrimp because it does cook fast, and you do not want gummy shrimp in your jambalaya. I've added 1 can of tomato sauce. I ended up using 2 whole cans because of how much jambalaya I cooked. I underestimated myself, so I ended up using 2 cans of tomato sauce and a can of those diced tomatoes. I also used a teaspoon of thyme, a teaspoon of oregano, a teaspoon of Creole seasoning, and a little pepper. I'm also using a little salt, but not too much because, like I said, Creole seasoning is very salty. And I'm mixing everything up. I kind of sort of cooked the rice in a rice cooker. I didn't let it cook all the way because I don't want my rice to be gummy. And that's because the jambalaya is going to cook for a good 30 minutes. So I just cooked it enough so that it is not crunchy. The last time I tried to cook rice in my jambalaya, it was a little crunchy because I didn't pre-cook it. So I pre-cooked it a little bit and then added it to the pot and then let it cook for 30 minutes. In the last 10 minutes of me cooking this jambalaya, I added my shrimp. That way it can cook all the way through and it won't be gummy. I also added 3 bay leaves to the pot to give it that added flavor.
Well, hello viewers, welcome to another episode of Jordan's Reviews, and with me I have here, I'm going to assume is Gumbo?
Jambalaya.
Jambalaya, okay. Wrong one. Jambalaya, and I see a bit of shrimp in there, my favorite. So, and then that's not all we have today. My mother cooked up a feast while I was at work, and so we gotta see it. And we got a little bit of banana pudding. That's for dessert, obviously, so that's going last. Then again, we also have a cake there, so I'm honestly not too decided on that. So, yeah, hell no, maybe banana pudding and then maybe chocolate cake. That's what we'll do. We'll do desserts last. Then another plate, we got corn on the... It's not on the cob, it's just corn. And then corn on the cob?
Yeah.
Okay, corn on the cob, and then green beans, and then a chocolate cake? Mm-hmm. Okay. Jumping right into this. This got jambalaya. Get a little tasty there. That's good. All right. I had to get that out. Okay. Down to the minuscule texture. Delicious. Taste? Yeah. No complaint the texture from me or by taste. Now, we're going to use our lucky spoon here. Dab it off a little. Green beans, the healthy part. I probably should have started with this first, but you know. It has a required taste, I'll give it that.
Do you taste the smoky flavor of the meat?
That would explain.
It's not that chewy.
1,000 years later. Delicious! Had to finish that steak real quick. Okay, yeah. Green beans, cool, along with that. I forgot what it was called already.
Oh, the corn on the cob.
No, not the corn on the cob.
Green beans?
What was in the green beans?
Oh, ham shank.
Ham shank, okay. Now we're going to try the kernel corn.
With the spoon?
Yes. Okay. As I thought it was going to taste. Delicious! With the spoon. Because of course we do. Now, between the banana pudding and the chocolate cake, I already have one in my hand, so that, time efficient, I'll just eat this one right here. But down the hatch, I say this thing looks absolutely delicious. Did you read the Bible while making this one? I tasted a Bible scripture in there.
Which one?
That's a good question. There's so many. That's a show dang good question. Either way, perfect. Now, last but last, the banana pudding. Gotta go. I just want one more look at this delicious treat before I eat it. Now, 1, 2, and give it to me straight, Mom. Where's the stairway to heaven? I know you went. It's somewhere here, because no way. I heard Angel singing when I took a bite into this. Absolutely astonishing. Incredible. However you may phrase it. It's just great. All of it's great. With all that being said, wait a second. I missed one. Let's try it, shall we? Okay. Good. I think I ate everything. Okay. With all that being said, that story reviews. Did I rate it? No, I didn't. We're gonna go and shoot for 1,000 out of 10 because everything here it's just too exquisite to not breach the number 10.
We'll take it.
So with all that being said, I'm gonna have to big back. I'll come back down for this. No, matter of fact, no, I got it. I'm gonna take this. Yeah, no. We'll be back with another video. Until then, peace.
Y'all, I should have panned out into the living room because Jordan had a small crowd behind him on the couch watching him do his reviews. It was so funny, y'all. But I think everything turned out great. Everyone was full and there's enough left over for me to put in the freezer and bring back out next week. Their best friend was over and as soon as he walked through the door, he was like, "Mom, what's for dinner?" And I was like, "Jambalaya." And he started doing the happy dance. And y'all know he's just like one of my own. I let him in the kitchen and I try to teach him a few things about cooking because he does want to learn how to cook as well. He's actually taking cooking classes, so he's teaching me a few things as well. But yeah, that's today's Soul Food Sunday. What are y'all cooking today? Let me know down in the comment section what's for dinner. So how many of y'all are actually watching the game? Now me personally, I like to watch it for the commercials and the halftime show, and I can't wait to see how creative they get this year. But y'all, I was in Louisiana yesterday and I fully expected traffic to be redonkulous on the way out there, but it was just normal weekend traffic. I just knew it was going to be crunk. So I guess everyone who's going to the Super Bowl either already left or they plan on leaving later Saturday night. So yeah, it was smooth sailing to and from Louisiana. Now, when we went shopping, I saw this king cake that I wanted to get, but I just could not bring myself to spend $20 on a cake. I wanted to get that cake so bad, but I was like, we are not doing that. And then I saw some frozen crawfish, and I think the crawfish was like either $10.99. I think it was like a box was like $10.99. It could have been $19.99. I can't remember. But I did want to get the box of crawfish, but I was like, how am I going to get this crawfish back to Texas? Because I didn't bring my cooler. I didn't have anything to put it in, and I'm too frugal to buy another cooler just to bring some crawfish back. So next time I'm out there, I'm just gonna go ahead and get crawfish that's already cooked and then bring it back to the house. That's how we're gonna do that one. I pray that you all have an amazing day, and family, we will chit chat in the next one. Talk to you later. Bye.